So this is a little bit of a shoulder, upper back, we call it posture exercise. You could use some items you might have around the house, a broomstick or a dowel, a ski pole, maybe some light weights or soup cans. You really don't need to go heavy with these. These are massively humbling. These are 2 pounds, and there isn't many in this space that go heavier than that. So you don't need to go very heavy. I wouldn't go any more than 5 at most. I'm going to demonstrate with the dowel. So it is done in a hinge position, so there's a little bit of prerequisite to understanding of what that hinge is. I want good connection between my rib cage and pelvis, so I don't want to get any of this motion from my ribs poking forward and my back arching. I'm trying to challenge this to come from my upper back. And I'm going to hold a hinge. So that's that bowy position that has my hips, my sit bones reaching back towards the wall behind me. My knees are soft here, but it's not a squat. You can see it's very much this bowed position. I'm thinking about keeping the ribs back in space here, so not letting them kind of flare with my belly opening up towards the floor. I'm dropping the ribs and keeping this nice long line here. Front of the ribs kind of orienting down towards the hips. I'm going to take my dowel here and I'm going to position with my elbows bent, so they're about 90 degrees, and then I'm going to rotate that dowel to the top and center of my head. Everything is going to stay nice and still. Torso position, hip position, and I'm just going to extend that dowel straight out as if it's moving along a beam of light that's shining out of the center of my head. Notice my head is also an extension of my spine, so watch. Some people drop their head because that obviously makes it easier. So keep that head as an extension of their spine, and we're just reaching that dowel straight out along the line. So it's that imaginary line and we're reaching straight out from. The other way you can think about it is you're trying to keep the backs of the hands as close to the ceiling as possible, so you're trying to fight to keep this angle. If I was holding weights, I could hold those weights and do the same thing. The weights give you a little more freedom. You could come into a bit more of a wider position if the shoulder is needed. But most people, as I said, will find this quite humbling. Just make sure that it agrees with your shoulders, because it does require this kind of overhead positioning. So it shouldn't be pinchy or painful in the shoulders. It should be worky. And we also want to take care of kind of what's happening here and here. So none of this kind of stuff where we're kind of trying to